Experience does it again in releasing yet another DRPG on the Vita. However, this time, it's a sequel to one of their most popular hits, Demon Gaze. However, the landscape of DRPGs has changed since then. Experience themselves have released more than half a dozen DRPGs on the platform since Demon Gaze released, not to mention other games from other developers as well. Demon Gaze 2 places you as the leader of a revolutionist group trying to overthrow Magnestar, a dreadful ruler bent on brainwashing the public. When the game starts, you get captured by Magnestar's henchmen and lose all of your memories. While escaping your impending doom, you awaken to the power to become a Demon Gazer. To put it simply, a Demon Gazer has the ability to capture demons. Note that not every monster you come across is capturable. It's mainly the bosses you come across when traveling through dungeons. Traveling through these dungeons is just like any other DRPG. Dungeons are grid-based and your map fills out as you walk across it. Should you come across a trap, you'll still have to actually step on it for it to show up on your map properly. This being the case, this also applies to hidden objects as well. For instance, the game points out that the demons you bring with you may affect your dungeon experience very early on, such as Pegasus can point out at hidden doors. Battles are like any other turn-based RPG. In Demon Gaze 2, the game isn't afraid to constantly throw enemies at you in waves. While sure you'll be facing 3 or so enemies most of the time, don't be surprised to come across 5 or 6 at times either. What's even crazier is the enemies will also cycle through rows to make it feel like they keep coming. While playing on the normal difficulty, this constant feel of mob encounters doesn't feel bad. However, certainly prepare to be tested when playing on the higher difficulties. To combat this, your demons have a second form when you use Demon Eyes on them. This costs star energy and allows them to use special skills in these forms. These skills are gotten from maintaining them and using star energy, which is normally replenished through battles, so it's not a hard resource to come across. While battles are randomized, there are enemy icons in the map itself as well. These icons are generally harder versions of enemies you've been facing while in the dungeon. There are also treasure items in the map as well as gem icons. These gem icons are the most important parts of a dungeon. When you arrive at a gem icon and place a gem on it, stronger enemies will appear. However, when you conquer all of the gems in a dungeon, the boss's lair will show itself. The boss's lair is pretty unique as each one typically has a puzzle for you to solve to go from room to room. Once you've beaten the boss, congratulate yourself and your new party member. Naturally, you'll need somewhere to stay with all your new demon friends, and that's where your secret base comes in. Stella's Place, pub by day, secret hangout by night, is where you'll be buying your items, crafting weapons, maintaining your demons, and in some circumstances, participating in your revolutionist radio show. While you are the leader, you're not the one running the show, as Muse, Prim, and Promif, yep, the one from the previous game, do that. However, the government has actually placed crystals for demons to guard. These crystals help keep the influence in place. As you defeat the dungeon bosses, the crystals break and your own influence will rise little by little. Maintaining your demons happens in 2 ways. One is through actual maintenance by hanging out with them and leveling up their affection level so they can gain new skills. Doing this spends crystals. Yep, the very ones you find after defeating them. Pretty ironic in a way, as getting those crystals also helps the group gain popularity, as well as give you more star power, allowing the demonization process to last longer. The other form of maintenance is paying rent. That's right, you want your demons? You're going to have to pay for them. The first room is free, but after that, you're going to have to pay. There is a small plus side to this though. Just like your own room, you can decorate it. These decoration options increase the stat of whoever is staying in that room. Truth be told, I honestly could care less about the game's story. It isn't all that engaging. I couldn't bring myself to care about the characters whatsoever. The story scenes themselves go on for way too long for my tastes as well. Some character designs aren't helping either. While I'd say your avatars, the enemies, and the demons are just fine, the NPCs, namely Prim and Magnestar, just look off-putting and really need some fixing in some areas. You can change your avatar as well as your demon's avatar in the shower room. While you have a few options, your demons only have one and their new avatar looks nothing like their original design. It doesn't help that the pool of alternative art styles for the demons are shared, so it would be best just to leave things the way they are. At the beginning of the game, you're asked what type of spells you'd like to learn. The result of this is pretty much seeing every skill you'll learn as you progress through the game, which is honestly perfect. There are some skills you can choose to learn over others, but for the most part, everything is labeled as to when you learn it. This way, you don't have to worry about leveling up and wondering when and what the next skill will be. If you like the OST of the previous entry, you'll like this one as well. Just like the last game, the Vocaloid IA is lending her voice, which is all over the soundtrack. If you don't like the sound of Vocaloids, then turning them off is also an option. Overall, if the game wasn't so talkative when going from dungeon to dungeon, and if the character designs were a bit better, I'd honestly have a better time with this game. More so, if the game didn't make me feel like I was going from story beat to story beat every time I beat a dungeon, it would have made the story a bit more enjoyable. This isn't to say the game is remotely bad, however, as the dungeon crawling itself is a ton of fun here. While I do wish I could see the turn order in battles, it really is no big deal. The fact that what moves my teammates will learn and when they'll learn them is a pretty big plus in my eyes, so overall this is a really solid game. And that does it for our review. To see the written review, be sure to check out our website, gaminggamma.com. A link to that review will be down in the description bar below. Also, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them. I love hearing from you guys. Also, if you're new to my channel, hey, be sure to subscribe for future Let's Plays, reviews, commentaries, and more. And if you really love what I do, you can go check out my Patreon. Every bit helps. Also, if you're already subbed, be sure to click on that bell to be notified when my next review is live. And as always, everyone, thanks for watching.